Since the very first lockdown, our family haven't been to church. So today is the first time I have a great worship with you guys. I'm really enjoying and really refreshing to me. I think I can see some of your family face in Zoom. I occasionally come to visit your son. So I think I'm the only one. I feel like black sheep. And this is my third time to be here. I really enjoy and really I feel refreshed. By the way, my name is Saul Edison, a friend of your pastor Richard, and I live in Huddersfield. And today I brought my wife Gloria and my son and Samuel and Naomi. They have gone to Sunday school now. And I brought some of our friends. They moved from London and to I think in Manchester, and two of them. They are. Can you stand up, please? They are our friends. Yeah, they just. Thank you. Yeah, they are our friends as well. Maybe you are very famous. Some of my friends or family would join Zoom from my country, back in my country today, I believe. Before I start, I would like to tell a joke. Is that all right? Yeah. One Sunday morning, a Catholic priest, before he preached, he said, I brought three sermons, three messages for you. One is, it will cost you £500. It will last just 5 minutes. And second one is £200. It will last 15 minutes. The last one is only it will cost you only £10, but it will last 2 hours. But he said, but first we will take collection first. I had a sense of humor. Forgive me if I say something wrong. The first time when I imagined myself wearing face mask and speaking here, you know, it's come into my mind that those who are wearing masks, is in Greek, is a hypocrite. And and it's the words came because they have a play on a stage. Sometimes the actor has to act in different ways, so they have to wear masks. So it's called hypocrite. The word came through English, hypocrite. It's a sense of humor. I'm not insulting anyone. I'm just, I'm thinking myself and standing here preaching to you. And it's my great honor and it's my great pleasure to be here. This will be your endurance text for listening my English. But if you want a better version, it would last only half an hour. If you want a better version with Pastor Richard help or Pastor Richard interpret, it would take 1 hour. Choose what you want. Just like a Catholic priest. Well, today I bring a message. It's called, in our Christian world, we have many popular words, such as victory and blessing and victor and not head, not tail, and happiness and success. But when we say like surrender, a judgment, sin, and pain and suffering, it's a kind of negative sense. But unfortunately, today my topic is one of these words. It's called sacrifice. If you can bring up the PowerPoint, and it will help me preach. If you see the PowerPoint, the picture, I think I don't need to explain a lot. Picture words 1,000. Oh, sorry, picture. Yeah, words 1,000 words. And when I say sacrifice, the word, I'm sure that it will definitely, you will see two pictures in your mind, two images. The first one is in Old Testament time, that the lamb was sacrificed on an altar. This is the word meaning. And another one is the sacrifice, is Jesus Christ sacrifice. So these two images, you might come into your mind. And in English, in English, this is a very interesting word. I really love English language. I'm very interested as well. And in a dictionary, when I look up in the dictionary, it's saying that the sacrifice, there's two meaning, noun and verb. The first one is an act of slaughtering an animal. This is the image that you can see. The second one is the Christ offering himself in crucifixion. So this is the second meaning. And in verb, it's saying offer or care as a religious sacrifice. And the second meaning for verb is give up something value for the sake of other considerations. So my topic, sacrifice, will be the second meaning, which is give up your values for the sake of other considerations. I would like to read a Bible verse, Ephesians chapter 5, verse 1 to 2. Before they are ready, let me read it out. It shows that, as I said before, as I introduced you before, a picture words 1,000 words, in English saying. So there is no picture. That means thousand of words I have to speak. so it will take more time. Okay. Forgive me if I'm really I have a sense of humor and I really enjoy to be with you and in the midst and worshiping. What a nice feeling that I miss more than a year. And in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 1 to 2, it's saying that, therefore be imitators of God as beloved children, and walk in love as Christ loved us and gave himself up for us, a fragrant offering and sacrifice to God. So this is the main Bible verse that I'm going to preach on. And the first one is saying that gave himself up for us, Jesus Christ. So what Paul is saying to us is be imitators, copy it, follow it the way Christ done for us. So he encourages us to follow, whether we follow the Christ doing for us and showing for us. And while they are sorting out the PowerPoint, I think I just want to bring my wife to sing here with. Can I ask my wife to sing for us, please? Yeah. And her name is Gloria, and she's going to sing about our land. Because I'm going to preach on later on about in my country. I'm not sure whether you are aware of that. I'm sure you are aware of that. And 3 months ago, there was a military coup, and now nobody care about pandemic. We are caring about pandemic and taking a vaccination, things like that. But switch on. But in my country, nobody care about pandemic because of this military coup. They are really scared of military coup than pandemic. Of course, we've been under a military dictatorship for 70 years, more than 70 years. Only 5 years that we got democracy. So please help us sing the song.
I sing a song name called Here I Live.
Switch over USB ปุ่มตรงนั้นปาไว้
Yeah, that's it.
If my people who humble themselves and pray, if they seek my face and humble themselves and turn from their wicked ways, I will hear from heaven
Thank you very much. She's my wife. Also, yeah, she's my wife, and her name is Gloria. And we really need our healing from God in our country, especially in our country. And please remember in your prayer. The word sacrifice, it's really interesting to me. It's a kind of, in English word, metaphorical word. But what I like what is interesting to me is this word we use in our daily language without realizing the actual sacrifice we always use. But I really like it that the language blend into our daily life, which is a very good thing, that the religious word became a common language for us. And so I got only 3 points to take note on. So let me check the time. It won't take much time. How do we give sacrifice to God? That's the question today we are going to consider. How do we give sacrifice to God? Only 3 points. The first one is that sacrifice must be freely given. Let me repeat it. Sacrifice must be freely given. In Psalm chapter 54, well, it's not chapter, Psalms number 54, verse 6, saying, with a freewill offering I will sacrifice to you, I will give thanks to your name, O Lord, for it is good. Came from the psalmist saying that when I offer to God, it's from out of my free will, out of my will. Sacrifice must be freely given. As I said, in military coup, after military coup, it's in 26 May, need to be updated a little bit. It'll be more, the figure will be more. In day 115, now the military coup killed 828 people and arrested 5,441, and stay detained is 4,330, and warrants out is 1,800, more than 1,800. So this is unarmed civilians. They use grenades, they use live round, machine gun, even airstrike. Right now, as of now, they're doing. So out of this terrible situation, a new generation called Generation Z, I'm sure you're aware of that. Generation Z, it's those who were born in 1995, between 1995 to 2015, the young people. So they're the generation who try to protest peacefully. And they said they are Generation Z. So it's a kind of prophetic word that for me, I believe that this will be the last generation that will take over this military coup. And so this is a kind of prophetic word to me. I believe that they try to, against them, the military, and particularly I would like to talk about the well-known and very popular news, the young girl named called Angel. Her name is Angel, and she attached her backpack you can see B+. This is her blood type. She write down the blood type, and in a note she's saying, what she's saying is, if her organ is stay attached, and if stay good, please I offer it. Please donate my organ. That's what she write it down, and she attach it on her backpack, and she go for protesting, very peaceful protesting. But she was shot on her head, and by a sniper, and military snipers. So what I want to mention is that her sacrificial heart, she knows that she will be shot. Many young people knows that. Can you do one more slide, please? They are using a slingshot. As a Christian, do you remind me something? Do you remind it something? Slingshot. When they use slingshot in the Bible, Goliath, David and Goliath, isn't it? Yes, military dictatorship. They've been more than 70 years. They take control all of the business, everything, and they build up their military very, very strong. But they're just using with a slingshot. What they're saying is, we know that we cannot win over the strong military by using slingshot, but please capture the moment. Take your camera out and share the war when they torture us publicly. That's why I came to know, and the world came to know that how terrible the military is, how I should say, the worst military that we ever witnessed. Even I myself, I think many of you know that what is happening in the war, in Burma now. It's really cruel. But this, a new generation, they said, we know that, but we will sacrifice our body. So today we want to learn, the first point is sacrifice must be freely given. When you sacrifice to God, whatever, something that you value, you have to give to God with your free will. This is my first point. My second, let me tell a short story as well before I go to a second point. We all know that this one, I gave gold for iron, 1813. This is when they get a donation for a war. We use this kind of slogan. It became a war of the slogan. So that behind the story behind is a King Frederick William III of Prussia, and during his reign, the wars it's been closely, and he's trying to rebuild his nation. Then he was seriously short of finance in his country. After carefully reflection, and he decided to ask all the women from Prussia and to bring their jewelry of gold and to melt down and for their country, for the rebuild of their country. So each piece of jewelry they receive, and he will exchange for a decoration of iron as a symbol of gratitude, and the decoration would be inscribed like, "I gave gold for iron, 1830." So this became kind of a war slogan. My second point will be sacrifice must be completely given. Sacrifice must be completely given. In Mark chapter 12, verse 41 to 44. And he called his disciples to him and said to them, Jesus called his disciples, "Truly I say to you, this poor widow has put in more than all those who are contributing to the offering box. For they all contributed out of their abundance, but she, out of her poverty, has put in everything she had. All she had to live on. We all know this story in the Bible. It's when Jesus was sitting with his disciples and near the synagogues, and he saw in a collection box that poor widow put only 2 pennies. But he saw there are many rich people, a large sum amount of money they put it there. But Jesus said, she is the only one who put in everything she had. She is the most blessed one. That's what Jesus said. My second point is, when you give to sacrifice to God, we have to give completely. Another very popular news recently is that a Catholic nun from my country, and Myanmar nuns plead with military not to shoot children, kill me instead, she said. It was very popular news, and even the Pope, the Pope tweeted and gave a praise for her action. And she knows that she will be killed. But she says, please, the accident was in front of her church. This military, they tried to kill many protesters. So she was blocking not to advance them forward. So she was blocking. And this is a kind of action, a sacrifice she completely given to, for the protesters. And I just want to testify about my life, a little bit about my life, that in 1999, I wanted to go to the Bible school, which is in India. And I live near the border of Thailand, which is the other side of the country. And in India is the other side, which is very, very far. It took me 1 month to reach. Well, I have to smuggle out from my country. And so the journey is too long, but I really wanted to study the Bible, go to the Bible school. So my family is poor. We came from a very humble background, and my father said at the time, what happened was to my family, this military, the same military regime, they took our land. We have a big plot of land and house, nice house, for me, and we have a pond, a fish pond, and gardens, and very nice place. But the military took over. And they said they want to do a training camp over there. And so they gave us a small plot near the jungle, out of nowhere. So at the time, I wanted to go to Bible school and in India. And my father said, okay, we don't have money, but we have this small plot of land. I will sell it, I will send it to you. And he did it. And it was a treasure to me. And he gave sacrifice to God, whatever he had. It's only 1 plot of land, a small plot. And then I did my journey, and 3 years I studied, and I came back. In the history, it is very famous, King Cyrus, the founder of the Persian Empire, And in a war, they were captured by the enemy, and along with his family. And what he said was, if you release me, I will give half of my country. But if you release my children, I will give the whole country, he said. But if you release my wife, I will give my life. That's what he said in the history when we read a book. So it came to my mind again. A couples, all the wives, can you look at your husband's eyes and say, Amen? Yeah, he said that if you release my wife, I will give my life. So he completely sacrificed for his wife. So the second part is the sacrifice must be completely given. And my third point will be, this is the last point, sacrifice must be given at cost. Sacrifice must be given at cost. In 2 Samuel chapter 24, verse 23 to 24, it's saying that all this, O king, Araunah gives to the king, and Araunah said to the king, may the Lord your God accept you. But the king said to Araunah, no, but I will buy it from you for a price. I will not offer burnt offerings to the Lord my God that cost me nothing. So David brought the threshing floor and the oxen for 50 shekels of silver. And David built there an altar to the Lord and offered burnt offerings and peace offerings. So the Lord responded to the plea for the land, and the plague was averted from Israel. This is the story that David, he did some mistake and God wants to punish him. And then David wants to sacrifice to God. He is a king at the time. He's a king. He has all the authority. He owns everything in his land. But the Araunah, he said, please take my land. Please take my land freely. But he said, no. I will sacrifice to God. That costs me nothing. No, I will not offer to God. That costs me nothing. So he bind the lamb with a cost. And again, from my when I finished my Bible study, I came back to my country and I wanted to serve the Lord. And a city name called Mongla. Can you bring? It's a very beautiful city, a very nice city. It's near Chinese border. It's not very far from the place that I live in. I'm sure even many of Burmese, they don't know which the country existed. This is a kind of town, a kind of city, but it's a country itself. It's a country, a small country within a country in Burma. You cannot find in Google. The name is Mongla. So they have their own government, they have their own military system, they have their own justice system. It's called Mongla. So there is no a very developing place, as you can see, and a lot of high skyrise and things like that. But there is no church at all at the time. A few disciples there, 3 or 4 families there. So I decided to serve God in this place. So I went there. What do you expect? Can I show you another picture? It's me. It's one of the casinos in Mongla. There were at least 5 casinos at the time, 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago. When in one casino, there were 3,000 staffs. So you can think of it's like a Las Vegas. It's very interestingly, last year I found a documentary by BBC saying this about this town. Is saying a sin city. It's just recently I found it YouTube. BBC make a documentary. So my point is that I got a degree from other country, and a young man. At the time I was 27, something like that, 27, and I came to serve God with a degree, big degree. In my country, if we have the degree, we thought of like a very big person, things like that, because we have very few graduated. I go there to serve the Lord. I expected a lot of things, a very developing city. And can you show me in this picture? This is the place that I live. It's very like a tent. And you can see the plastic, I don't know how you should, kind of sheet, a very long sheet, because I covered this one. When the rain comes, it make me wet inside when I'm sleeping, so I have to cover everything up. There is no toilet in a tent. There's no toilet at all. So please don't imagine how I go to toilet. But I want to show how I go to toilet. Can you show me another picture? This is how I go to toilet. It's a special transporting that I have to go with a motorbike to go for a toilet. It's very far from us. My point is that when we give a sacrifice to God, it's a cost. There's a cost. You have to pay a cost. Many times we Christian mumbling and blaming and we don't take things for granted, what God has done into our life. And I would like to end with my message with three questions. Please hear me out. The first question is, was Jesus' sacrifice freely given? Was Jesus' sacrifice freely given? In John chapter 10, verse 15, just as the Father knows me and I know the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. Lay down my life for you and me. In many historians say that Jesus was murdered by the Roman soldier, isn't it? And many theologians say that Jesus was murdered by Pharisees, by Sadducees, by Jews. Actually, it's not. No. Jesus gave his life, offered his life for you and me. Amen. Yes. Amen. The second question is, was Jesus' sacrifice completely given? Was Jesus' sacrifice completely given? In Romans chapter 5, verse 6 and 8, for while we were still weak, at the right time, Christ died for the ungodly. For one will scarcely die for a righteous person, though perhaps for a good person one will dare even to die. But God shows his love for us in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. While we are still sinners, Christ died for us. He completely sacrificed to us. He didn't expect anything from you. He didn't expect anything from you. And the third question is, was Jesus' sacrifice given at cost? Yes, of course. Even as the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom. You know the word ransom is at a cost for many. It's in Matthew chapter 20, verse 28. The sacrifice must be given, freely given. The sacrifice completely given. The sacrifice given at a cost. Thank you very much.